This is CBS.
A series of tragic events around the world today. Complaints here about the resignation of a Des Moines talk show host. Rick will have a chilling forecast for us. Drake and Iowa State played into overtime tonight. Heidi will have that story. This and more is coming up next on the TV8 News.
What you are about to see is not science fiction. It's Seiko Sport Tech. For the serious runner, an amazing multifunction training watch with detachable cable release. There's the world's first analog quartz chronograph. Seiko watches to time competition sports. And an incredible watch you talk to that talks back. Seiko Sport Tech. Welcome to the 21st century. Seiko watches and clocks at your authorized dealer.
At Richmond Gardman, a good value isn't good enough. We want you to be sure that you're getting the best value you can get. That's why we invented Verified Value. It means we do the comparison shopping at other stores that carry the same brand names. We set our everyday prices lower. So when you see the Verified Value tag at Richmond Gardman, you know that day in and day out, you can't do any better. In fact, our everyday prices are lower than most other stores' sale prices.
Richmond Gardman, we're just perfect for you.
We're TV8, we bring Iowa home to you.
Now, live from Iowa's leading news station, George Wiley, Sheila O'Connor, Dave Nixon with weather, and Heidi Soliday with sports.
Good evening. 5 people were killed, 77 others were hurt after a car bomb went off in London today outside a 5-story department store. Mark Phillips has the details.
An amateur cameraman took these shots of the smoke rising over Harrods shortly after the blast. At the height of the shopping day, the streets were still jammed with people, now being hurried from the area by police. Those who had received relatively minor injuries were being helped and treated on the scene. Others were being taken away by ambulance. The police had a warning about the bomb.
Text of the message was, and I quote, "This is the IRA car bomb outside Harrods."
In fact, the warning resulted in at least 2 police deaths.
The police officers that died, including an inspector of police, were endeavoring to establish whether or not there was a bomb when they were killed.
The seriously injured were taken to nearby hospitals. Those who were released recounted the horror of what they'd been through.
Terrible mess, a lot of bodies, a lot of corpses.
There was an orange flash and a blast of heat, and I was blown into the front of the Savoy Tailors Guild, and then after that, there was showers of glass.
For some who had been separated from friends or family during the post-blast confusion, there were emotional reunions. As night fell, the area around Harrods remained sealed off, and there were bomb scares in other areas of the city as well. The IRA had succeeded not only in killing and injuring people, but in bringing chaos, tension, and fear back to the streets of London.
Scotland Yard has been expecting pre-Christmas violence from the IRA. Security measures have been taken in other parts of London. Police in Amsterdam have arrested 3 men in connection with last night's fire at a gambling club in a specially zoned red light district. The bodies of 6 women and 7 men were recovered. They fear more bodies may be pulled from the rubble. Police have arrested a man who used to work at the club. He came in with a gun and a can of gasoline and started the fire, then ran off. 2 other men who drove him from the scene were also arrested.
Spain today experienced its 3rd major tragedy in as many weeks. The country had 2 air disasters at its international airport recently, and now at least 78 people, most of them young, were killed in a fire at a discotheque. Police say about 600 people had crowded into the club when the fire broke out at about 5 this morning. There was a short circuit, sparks, and a curtain was set on fire. Most of the dead died of smoke inhalation when they were trapped on a stairway landing. New York City's 5th Avenue was turned into a bloody nightmare today when a car careened out of control, striking pedestrians before it ran onto the sidewalk. 9 ambulances were called to the scene. At least 36 people were injured. The driver of the car is in police custody tonight. Police say the driver had been asked to move his car from an illegally parked area Before the incident occurred, they don't know if the driver plowed into the crowd accidentally or deliberately. Israeli television quotes unidentified military sources as saying that Israel won't attack UN-sponsored ships evacuating Palestinian fighters from Tripoli. Wounded Palestinians were shipped out of Tripoli today. Greek ships are due to do the same with the rest of the PLO forces next week. And in Beirut, Lebanon, the 3-day-old ceasefire continues. But as Martha Teichner reports, the effects of war are still very prevalent.
These are Druze, mountain people from the Shuf. They say it was shelling from American warships that destroyed their homes when the Israelis withdrew to southern Lebanon. They have no idea when the mountains will be safe enough for them to go home and rebuild.
From here, I took the furniture.
For a week, Hikmat Zahreddin cleaned and repaired what she found in this heap in the lobby. She was able to come here with her family only because her son worked for the hotel.
Really, to leave your home is very difficult. It hurt. And now I came and I see this mess. Really, it was so hard for me to but I have to do it. I wish I could go back to my mountain and stay under a tree.
The Zahreddins had never known anything like the makeshift life they live now. They have never been poor, but in Lebanon, no one is safe from war.
President Reagan has proclaimed Monday as National Care and Share Day. Americans will be encouraged to donate food to feed the hungry. This follows remarks earlier this month by presidential counselor Edwin Meese. He suggested some people go to soup kitchens not because they are needy, but because the food there is free. And the president is also urging Americans to get tough with drunk drivers. He said the nation's laws must be rewritten to make it harder on first-time offenders. A group of Des Moines women is upset over the resignation of a talk show host, Julie Gamak, from WHO Radio. Today, they protested to General Manager George Carpenter at the station studios. They said they're angry because the station had not allowed them to give their views on the air. They were also protesting the idea of programming changes which would include household hints for women. The group, which included former candidate for Governor Roxanne Conlon, talked with WHO's general manager in the lobby. He and Gamak's former producer, Talmadge Thompson, say an article in the Des Moines Register is to blame for the misunderstanding. They say the article was, quote, misinformed. Register officials stand by the story.
And still to come, charges are expected to be filed, the result of a fatal highway accident.
And a couple of boats were rescued from icy Saylorville Lake today. We'll have those reports and others when the news continues.
Save now during Plywood Minnesota's annual fall sale. You bet you can. Right now, buy kitchen cabinets and get either the white and gold or light butcher block countertop free. That's right, Jer. Free from Mica tops when you buy cabinets. Yup, and when you buy these Merillat bath vanities with a marble top, the Peerless washerless faucet is free. Even Thorpe financing is free for 90 days. Plywood Minnesota's great fall sale with free countertops when you buy kitchen cabinets. We're the value givers. Direct from the factory to you.
You're going to discover out-of-this-world prices at World Radio just in time for Christmas. Because we've used our nationwide billion-dollar buying power to make hundreds of special buys from Pioneer, Panasonic, Techniques, and Fisher that mean giant savings for you on top brand stereo, video, TV, telephones, and car stereo. Don't miss the special Christmas savings only at World Radio. We buy big, so you save big.
John McEnroe is coming to Des Moines Veterans Auditorium. In association with KCCI TV8, 1350 KRNT, and Q102 Radio, it's the Brenton Banks Tennis Challenge, featuring John McEnroe versus Guillermo Vilas, Friday, January 6th. Tickets on sale now at Bet's Box Office and other ticket outlets. 250 discount coupons available at all Brenton Banks across Iowa. Don't miss McEnroe versus Vilas, plus the preliminary Pepsi Future Stars and the Employers Mutual Celebrity Doubles. Be there January 6th for the Brenton Banks Tennis Challenge.
A Des Moines man died today of injuries received in an auto accident yesterday afternoon. 20-year-old Randall Timmons of 3711 Southwest Rose died of head injuries at Mercy Medical Center. Timmons was a passenger in a car driven by 18-year-old Sean Bartle. Police said Bartle was traveling at a high rate of speed and lost control of his car and ran off the road at Harding and Center. Bartle and another passenger were not seriously hurt. Several charges are to be filed against a man from Alden in connection with the traffic death of a tow truck driver last night. 31-year-old Lee Volgamot of Williams was killed when he was hit by a truck as he prepared to pull a car from a ditch. Being held is 51-year-old Kenneth Scott of rural Alden. The incident occurred on Highway 20 near Alden. A 16-month-old girl was killed in a fire in her family's home in northwest Iowa today. Felicia Coleman of Hornick was asleep. Efforts to rescue her failed. Investigators say the fire apparently began when other children in the family were playing with a cigarette lighter.
You may recall last week when 2 boats became stuck in the ice at Saylorville Lake. Well, today, workers using a variety of methods managed to get at least one of the boats out of the lake's icy grip. A crane crew was brought in from Des Moines to lift them from the lake after the ice was broken up around the boats. Ice in that part of the lake ranged from 6 to 8 inches thick. It took workers several hours in the sub-zero cold and blowing snow to free the boats. 1,500 families today were given the benefit of this year's Operation Santa Claus. This past week, about 800 people called the TV8 studios to offer food, toys, and money for the holidays. The donations were picked up and delivered to St. John's Catholic Church and were distributed today. Each 20 seconds, a family was given a box of food and another of toys for the children. This is the 34th year of the cooperative effort by many groups and individuals. Des Moines Friendship Force organizers announced yet another trip today. The destination for this planned journey is Down Under in the land of Australia. This makes it the 3rd Friendship Force trip announced this month. The other 2 destinations are China and Thailand. A Friendship Force spokesman says this is the most ambitious undertaking put on by the organization. All 3 trips are scheduled to depart in March, and all still have openings for people who would like to go along.
Temperatures are going to drop to 10 to 15 below zero in central Iowa tonight, and for the next few days it's going to be very cold. Mary Bach explains this kind of cold can be more than just uncomfortable.
Below zero temperatures can be dangerous if you're not prepared. Recently, an Iowa woman died of hypothermia after a car accident. She was stranded outdoors for hours in a ravine. There are some things you can do to avoid injuries from cold. First of all, say state troopers, stay home if you can.
We recommend several items they could carry with them during the winter. One would be additional clothing, heavy headgear, footgear, gloves, flashlight, of course, cans of Sternal for keeping warm in the vehicle. All these things help.
When you're walking around outside, frostbite can set in as little as 20 minutes. Doctors say that it's imperative that you cover your ears, wear gloves, or better, mittens, warm boots, and if you've been ill, a scarf over your face. Remember to wear layers of clothes. Doctors have found cotton and wool work best. Don't stay out too long. Hypothermia can sneak up on you.
Any body temperature less than 95 degrees Fahrenheit is considered hypothermia by definition.
Dr. Wall says if your skin still tingles, you probably don't have hypothermia.
If it's just mild and it's a little tingling and it seems to go away as they warm up inside, they're probably going to be fine. If they're having some of the other symptoms and the parts seem to have continually be numb and not warming up, or if somebody else observes them and they seem to be slow of thought or something like this, it may be hypothermia.
Doctors also say that staying dry is very important on days like today. Your body temperature can drop very rapidly if your skin is wet. So if you must go outside tonight, make sure your clothes and boots are warm and waterproof. Mary Bach, TV8 News.
With sub-zero temperatures in central Iowa tonight, it's hard to look on the bright side, but just think we could be living even farther north where it's even colder. Residents in northern Minnesota are faced with a landscape that looks like the moon. The wind chill factor last night in Duluth, Minnesota was 53 degrees below zero. Power was knocked out in some sections of the state. One woman commented that true Minnesotans take weather like this in stride. And I guess after you get down below zero, whether it's 35 degrees below or 53, it doesn't matter. It's still real cold.
It's cold everywhere. I've been looking for a warm place, and I think we're going to have to go to South America.
Okay, let's go.
Record colds likely tonight, and we will check out all the miserable weather right after this.
A Valley West Mall Christmas gift guide. Jordan's 2. Tasteful gifts for this holiday season. Entertain with flavorful foods from around the world. Cheeses, spices, jams, and cookies unique to the Des Moines area. Jordan's 2 has a variety of gift packs to make your gift giving a pleasure, starting as low as $6.95. Jordan's 2. Tasteful gifts for this holiday season. Merry Christmas from Valley West Mall, just north of I-235 on 35th Street in West Des Moines.
Hello, I'm Bill Kurtz.
And I'm Diane Sawyer, inviting you to join us every weekday morning here on TV8 and see why America is turning to the CBS Morning News.
We think you'll find the CBS Morning News has more of what you're looking for. More news, weather, business reports, plus in-depth interviews that go to the heart of today's headlines.
And you'll get local updates on Iowa news from TV8 every hour. So start your day where your friends are.
Wake up to what's happening here on the CBS Morning News from 7 to 9 weekdays on TV8.
Nice to have you with us on this Saturday evening. Frigid cold out there, and we have some snow falling currently in Des Moines and central Iowa. Already 1 below. The wind chill 32 below zero because of those gusty northwest winds up to 15 miles per hour at times. 59% of relative humidity, and the barometric pressure is rising now 30.70. We usually like to see that high pressure because it means clearing, but this time the clearing means record cold temperatures. At this hour around the state, by the way, that was the Ivy Church out there, the live nativity scene. Boy, those folks are in for a cold night if they're going to be out there too much longer. At this hour already you can see under clear skies in about the northern one-half of the state. Mason City at 15 below, probably going to end up at 20 to 25 below before the night is over. Fort Dodge at -8, 9 below in Waterloo. In fact, below zero readings all the way down to Lamoni. And yesterday we had below zero readings pushing all the way down into portions of Texas near Amarillo, smashing cold records all across the middle of the country. And we have picked up some more snow. The Weather Service says only 7/10 of an inch here during the day as of 6 p.m. this evening. Looked like a lot more than that, but it's the big, fluffy, dry snow. So as it settles down, they're saying 7 inch. And we were 7/10 of an inch. We were surrounded by just trace amounts with 4/10 of an inch down near Lamoni. But we do have quite a bit of snow on the ground now. 7 inches in Des Moines, 7 inches down near Ottumwa, 10 inches over in the western counties, Omaha, Council Bluffs. But look up north. Algona, 19 inches. They picked up a good chunk today. 13 inches in Mason City. Let's go to live radar now to see what snowfall amounts are going to be going up because of this latest storm that's passing through. As you can see, down near Lamoni and across the border, just south of Ottumwa, a pretty good snow shower kicking up right now. It is moving to the southeast, so it should not be affecting Des Moines and central Iowa. We are just kind of on the edge of it, and that's why you see some flurries out there. Daytime highs around the state, well, that's a bit of a misnomer as we check our map, because you can see Ames never made it above zero today. -1 was their high. Mason City -8. Waterloo 5 below. Here in Des Moines, our overnight low was 5 below, and we climbed all the way up to a nice 2 degrees for a high today. Oof. 9 below is our record low for this date, and we should have no problem at all smashing that tonight. How cold was it? Well, today with those winds blowing at the worst part of the afternoon, look at the wind chills. -25, 27, 37 up in Waterloo, -34 and 36 out there in the western counties. As you saw in those previous stories, just take care if you're going outside because it can be dangerous. And as you can see at 10 o'clock, look at all the cold air pushing all the way down to the Texas Panhandle. 5 degrees right down now in, well, that's probably Amarillo. This is what we look like in the afternoon with clouds covering a good portion of the nation as that high pressure from the Arctic just slides right in and is going to stay a while. Here's what we look like right now. There is the high pressure. In fact, it's kind of a double one, a real strong one, going to be just settling in here for 3 or 4 days. We might see some clearing, but no doubt about it, all kinds of record cold pushing clear down, approaching the Gulf Coast right now. And as you can see, behind that cold front, all kinds of snow breaking out. In fact, winter storm warnings and travelers advisories have been issued for portions of Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas because they've got snow and freezing rain. The roads are really terrible there. We do have some slippery roads here in Iowa, too, so take care. No travelers advisories have been issued, however. Snow falling at the rate of 2 inches an hour near Buffalo, and some pretty good storms kicking up near Florida. All kinds of activity forecast for tomorrow, ranging from rain in the deep south, changing to freezing rain in the lower Mississippi Valley, then snow in the Ohio Valley, a lot of snow around the Great Lakes, and we could see another inch or two here in southern Iowa, maybe just flurries in Des Moines, with snow all the way out to the mountains, the desert southwest, the nicest place. So for tomorrow, look for partly cloudy from about Des Moines northward, and from Des Moines southward, look for it to begin flurries, and maybe an inch or two more before the day is over. And look at the highs for tomorrow. Still bitterly cold. 5 below in the northeast, 10 below, a high for the northwest corner. And boy, it's just downright uncomfortable tonight. -22 before it's all over for a low in the northwestern corner. And here's the snow limited basically to southern counties, piling up maybe 2 inches. Still gusty north winds, the big problem. For Des Moines and central Iowa tonight, partly cloudy, a few flurries, and look for record low temperatures anywhere from 10 to 15 below zero. Tomorrow, only a high near zero. We'll have some flurries and partly cloudy skies. Northwest winds still at 10. Sunday night, clear to partly cloudy. Once again, back in the deep freeze. An overnight low of 10 to 15 below zero. And on Monday, the clouds will be on the increase, and the temperature will be too, all the way up to a high of 5 above. Not bad. And our extended outlook for the rest of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, a chance of snow every day. Daytime highs anywhere in the teens, probably, and overnight lows around 0 to, 20 below zero. Right now at 45 or thereabouts. We do have some snow and already 1 below zero.
Okay, and it would have to get down to about, below 9? Below zero to break the current record.
Guarantee it.
It'll happen. Okay. Thanks a lot, Rick. Well, Santa Claus left his reindeer at home this morning and opted instead for a parachute when he literally dropped in at the Eastgate shopping mall. In fact, 4 of his elves joined him in sub-zero temperatures. They jumped more than 3,000 feet before making a real hit, literally, with the eager children who waited in warm cars to greet him. The Des Moines skydivers helped Santa and his elves on their mission. Looks like fun.
Oh my, this kind of weather? Oh no.
For the kids.
At least they got to play basketball indoors tonight.
And it was hot inside too.
Good.
There was a proverbial barn burner at Vets Auditorium tonight. We'll tell you all about the Drake Iowa State game and tell you about lots of other basketball and football scores coming up.
At Payless Cashways, we've got your ticket to extra savings with special low prices now through Sunday. Protect your home, car, and boat with a portable fire extinguisher. Package of 2, just $7.95 after rebate. For only $19.95, get a beautiful oak toilet seat with brass hinges. Save $10. Add a 14 by 50-inch full-view door mirror, now an extra low $3.95. Hurry in for all the spectacular savings now through Sunday while supplies last at Payless Cashways Building Materials.
Don't do it yourself without us.
Payless Cashways.
When the cold winds blow and the snow starts to fall, you can go in the snow with Ford's tough 4x4 pickups and front-wheel drive cars. Go in the snow with Escort, with front-wheel drive and 4-wheel independent suspension. Or Tempo, Ford's newest front-wheel drive family sports sedan. Or go in the snow with the tough traction of Ford's 4-wheel drive pickups like Ranger, Bronco, Bronco 2, and F-Series. Go to your Ford dealer now and go in the snow this winter.
This week on Time Capsule.
The Christmas season and Handel's Messiah go hand in hand. I'm Dana Carden, and this Sunday I'll take you to 3 performances of the legendary oratorio, and you'll learn why the famous Alleluia chorus brings people to their feet.
Molly Cooney hosts Time Capsule, Sunday at 5:30 on TV8.
Tonight's double feature is Lawman, starring Burt Lancaster, Robert Ryan, Lee J. Cobb, Sherry North, and Robert Duvall, followed by Theater of Blood, featuring Vincent Price, Diana Rigg, Ian Henry, and Harry Andrews.
Lots of excitement at Vets Auditorium on this cold night as Drake and Iowa State battled into overtime. John Walters was there and has the story.
Over 10,000 fans were on hand at Vets Auditorium tonight as Iowa State defeated Drake in overtime, 79-72, in one of the most exciting games in the history of this interstate rivalry. Drake coach Gary Garner ran into hard times right from the start of this contest. Point guard Stefan Butler, who was scheduled to start, had his knee act up again in pregame warm-ups and was unable to play. Then ISU promptly scored the first 9 points of the game and increased the lead to 17 just minutes into the contest. Jeff Hornacek led the Cyclone surge, scoring 10 of the team's first 17 points. But Darrell Lloyd came off the Drake bench to spark an impressive comeback as the Bulldogs cut the lead to 4, 25-21. However, a last-second 30-footer by Ronnie Harris gave the Cyclones a 38-30 halftime lead, which they increased to 12 with another Harris bucket early in the second half. Drake was not ready to call it quits, however. Lloyd and Melvin Mathis did most of the scoring, but it was this jumper from the baseline by Demetrius Henderson that tied the game at 64 and sent it into overtime. In the extra session, the Cyclones, who never did trail in the game, ran off the first 6 points. The big blow was this Barry Stevens jumper in traffic from the baseline as Johnny Orr's team gained a comfortable lead, then held on for their first road win of the year. Stevens led all scorers in the game with 26 points. Harris added 21 as the Cyclones pushed their record to 6-1. Drake, which fell to 4-3 with a loss, was led by Mathis with 24 points. Lloyd had 19 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and a technical foul, which was also worth showing. John Walters, TV8 Sports at 10.
Other games with Big 8 teams, it was Nebraska 90, UNI 64. Jay Block led the Panthers with 15 points. Oklahoma 98, Southwestern College 53. Tulsa 91, Oklahoma State 79. In the first half, Kansas State leads UNLV 31-29, and Kansas beat Florida Southern 85-73. In games with Missouri Valley teams, it was Valparaiso 73, Bradley 55, Creighton 67, Seattle Pacific 60, and Southwestern Louisiana 99, Southern Illinois 73. Games with Big Ten teams, Michigan 84, Detroit 63. Ohio State beat Ohio University 73-69 in overtime. It was Indiana 54, Illinois State 44, and Purdue 65, Youngstown State 54. In college basketball with rated teams in a game seen here on TV8, Louisville got by North Carolina State 83-79, and Chuck Reed has the highlights.
The 16th-ranked Louisville Cardinals overcame a 4-point halftime deficit to defeat the number 6-ranked North Carolina State Wolfpack 83-79 today in Raleigh, North Carolina. In the first half, Louisville jumped out on top thanks in part to Lancaster Gordon. This bucket put the Cards up 6. The defending national champs came back, though. This Ernie Myers slam tied the game at 24. The Wolfpack built their lead to 4 at half on this Spud Webb jumper at the buzzer. The second half was pretty much all Louisville, though, as Denny Crum's crew got things going. First this Billy Thompson slam, then Noah Wagner on the alley-oop, followed by this Gordon dunk, and Louisville is up 4. State's massive forward number 43, Lorenzo Charles, tried to keep it close. Here he stuffs home 2 of his 29 points to go along with 15 rebounds. The Cardinals' record improves to 4-2, while the Wolfpack record drops down to 7-2. Chuck Reed, TV8 Sports.
Tonight it was Boston College 87, Holy Cross 85, and an obviously early score. Memphis State and UCLA are tied at 4 in the first half. It was Kentucky 93, BYU 59, Houston 65, Princeton 40. At halftime, DePaul leads Texas Tech 33-24. We've got no score yet between Georgetown and American University. Georgia beat Valdosta State 88-69. It was St. John's 89, Wagner 60. And at the half, Oregon State leads Portland 25-19. The third postseason college football bowl game was played tonight in Orlando, the Florida Citrus Bowl between 15th-rated Maryland and Tennessee. And the Volunteers, who led 10-9 at halftime, upset the Terrapins 30-23. In the other bowl game played this afternoon in Fresno, Northern Illinois topped Fullerton State 20-13 in the California Bowl. Today in South Carolina, Southern Illinois won the NCAA Division I AA football title with a 43-7 trouncing of Western Carolina, as we see in this report.
After a scoreless first quarter, a 10-yard pass from Rick Johnson to Derek Taylor, plus a field goal, gave Southern Illinois a 10-point halftime lead. In the third quarter, Johnson sneaked 1 foot for a touchdown. The Salukis were in command 17-0. Johnson passed 26 yards to Charles Stevenson for a score. Southern was well on its way to the Division I AA championship. Southern Illinois added a safety, then Terry Green ran 2 yards for a touchdown. Another field goal gave Southern a 36-point lead. Western Carolina's only TD was an 18-yard pass play. Christy Kaiser hauled in the pass in the late stages. Green ran 11 yards to make the final. Southern Illinois 43, Western Carolina 7.
2 NFL games were also played this afternoon. Pat Paris has a report on the Washington-New York Giants game.
The final game of the season was a record-breaking affair for the Washington Redskins today as they defeated the New York Giants 31-22 at RFK Stadium. The first half didn't always go the Redskins' way. Quarterback Joe Theismann threw 3 interceptions and was sacked several times. The Giants got on the scoreboard first with this 20-yard field goal by Ali Hodges Sheik. Washington came right back to score a touchdown as the second quarter started. A 17-yard pass from Theismann to Charlie Brown, which made the score 7-3, the Redskins on top. The Redskins' touchdown was the 517th point of the year, which established a new NFL single-season scoring record. Sheik then booted 3 field goals of 39, 19, and 45 yards to give the Giants the lead at half, 12-7. New York scored a touchdown on a 6-yard pass from Jeff Rutledge to Joe Morris as the second half got underway. Washington took the lead on a 7-yard pass from Theismann to Clint Didier to make the score 24-22. Then John Riggins went to work. He scored his 24th rushing touchdown of the year on this 2-yard run, which established a new NFL touchdown record. The victory assures Washington of home field advantage throughout the rest of the playoff. Pat Paris, TV8 Sports.
In the other game, Tony Galbraith scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to lead the Vikings past Cincinnati 20-14. Minnesota ends the year at 8-8, while the Bengals finish at 7-9. In college wrestling tonight, it was Iowa 30, UNI 14, and Iowa State 23, North Carolina 16. In baseball, free agent Darrell Evans has signed a 3-year contract with the Detroit Tigers. Evans, who was sought by 16 teams as a free agent, played with San Francisco last season. And Manny Trio is expected to sign with the Giants soon, possibly by Tuesday. A 3-year contract is apparent apparently in the works. In boxing, Jeff Chandler scored a TKO in the 7th round over challenger Oscar Muniz to retain his WBA bantamweight crown. Chandler's record is now 33-1-2. And in hockey tonight out at the Ice Arena, Sioux City beat the Buccaneers 5-3. Girls basketball, Urbandale 78, Roosevelt 47. That's it.
Thank you, Heidi. We'll be back with another look at the weather after this.
A Valley West Mall Christmas gift guide. Johnson's visits Mrs. Smith's class to see what dads are going to get for Christmas. Let your imagination run wild when you shop for Dad at Johnson's. Our store has the latest styles and colors.
Final look at the weather, throw another log on the fire. Mighty cold tonight, record lows possible anywhere -10 to -15 before it's all over, and a few flurries. Tomorrow partly cloudy and very cold with more flurries, a high near 0. Sunday night, clear to partly cloudy, once again a low of 10 to 15 below. Not improving much on Monday. Right now we have some snow and 1 below.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for watching. And for the last time, this is my last newscast on KCCI TV. Stay tuned now for the TV8 Saturday night double feature.
This is